Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. It is the Daily Drop, and today we got a lot to talk about. There's a real huge gamut of information, so I'm just going to get right into it. Yesterday was the big walkout day. We're walking out against guns. Now I get it, man. You know, you want to stand for something. You're a young person. You're in a school, and there is more than a perceived threat because schools are getting shot up. Now, again, in most of these cases, it's an altercation between students. There's someone that's targeted. We're not talking mass school shootings. However, you know, there has been a lot of gun violence in school really the last 20, 25 years. It's on the rise. Not acknowledging that is just a lie, okay? I get it. So what's the real solution? Now, first of all, most of these people really don't have any idea of what happened recently at Parkland, and they've been galvanized by fear, basically. Again, an unfortunate reality. Now, if you don't believe me, I encourage you to please go to DTube and watch for free Parkland Code Red, a We Are Change mini doc that I put together in just a few weeks. Really, like 2.5 weeks. I got into it a little bit after what had happened. I thought I was going to be doing a video basically on the mental health aspect and all of the missed cues, and that is certainly part of this documentary. But there really is so much more to this, and you know, I really do feel that there's no perfect solution, okay, to somebody trying to get violent against children, and not only get violent, but take their lives, obviously. There is no perfect solution. However, who were the most prepared, in my humble opinion, after doing all of my research? It was really simple. It was the ROTC students that used Kevlar sheets to shield dozens of students from gunfire. Now, this is step one, by the way. So where did they get the Kevlar from? Well, actually, they were curtains. So, well, wow, that makes perfect sense. So we start making school curtains out of Kevlar. That's step one. That's very smart. And then obviously hiding these children, but putting them behind Kevlar, something that will stop bullets, makes perfect sense. So then what else did they do? Well, they bombarded the doors, and then they got makeshift weapons, also with Kevlar and tables, and that was their tool. Now, those, with what they had, was extremely good. You know, they saved lives. Luckily, the shooter did not come into that room, but had he, I mean, these were the most prepared, and obviously, these are the ones that had ROTC training. Now, again, one of the things they're not telling you about the shooter, caveat issue, is that he was also ROTC, and many of these students had actually had different classes like marksmanship with him, all right? But that's, please, go watch Parkland Code Red. I don't want to get into all of it here. Now, here's another solution where we could use technology to solve problems. Now, I know it's all over the news that we have this teacher that misfired a weapon in a demonstration and injured children. Horrific. Horrific. But what if we did this? You know, first of all, let's not make it mandatory that schools have guns. Let them choose. Number two, let's not let the world know what teachers are going to have weapons. In fact, there are probably a lot of teachers out there that go hunting, that have permits, that do know how to handle firearms. Am I making sense yet? Well, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to say, well, Jason, someone else is going to get access to that weapon. It's not practical in a situation. What if in the classrooms where they wanted it, where teachers had training with weapons, we used biometric technology, a technology that's been around forever, a thumbprint, you use it for your phone, an eye scan, again, a face scan, you use it for your phone, and we put that weapon in a biometrically sealed safe. So it was quick to be able to get to and inaccessible by anybody else. Does that make sense? Hell, school doesn't exist 3 months a year. You don't think that they could put those into the walls? So to me, again, you solve problems by looking at them and seeing who had success when that occurred. Maybe that's too much common sense for people. I don't know, because common sense is going by the wayside, and that's why we're going to talk about this Twitter ban of Steven Crowder. Now, it's a suspension. It's not a ban. I don't want to get into hysterics here. However, again, look at this guy. I mean, first of all, I want to say that I don't agree with Steven Crowder on a lot of things. Do I believe he should have a voice? You bet I do. Do I think that he is funny? Yes, I do. I think he's been great on the Rogan podcast. I've watched some of his own, shorter excerpts from his podcast, some of his sketches. Again, I'd like to sit down with the man and change his mind about 9/11 truth, because I don't think that anybody's sat down with him and had a concise conversation outside of the physical anomalies and say, hey, man, there's a lot more to this than you've been told. I don't know if he would ever give me that opportunity. I'd love it, Steven. But on the other hand, he does give voices not only to alternative views, but alternative common sense views. And for him to be banned for a video he did on YouTube, again, where another purge is happening, freedom of speech, guys, it's on the way out. And right now, YouTube, we all knew it was coming. They've been talking about it. They've already been demonetizing our videos. They've gone after people. They admitted that they wrongfully terminated certain accounts or, took down certain videos. This is all been coming for a long, long time. And, We Are Change has been a victim of this for some time. This isn't new to us, but now it's going. And now they're saying they're going to crack down on conspiracy videos. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean fabled enemies with nothing but factual information will now be labeled a conspiracy video? Well, I'm going to laugh at that, because their solution is, well, they're becoming the ministry of truth, basically. They're going to link to Wikipedia. Wikipedia, the end-all, be-all for correct information and source information. You want to know the best part of that story as they unveiled it? Wikipedia had no clue what was going on. Can you imagine that? I mean, not that Wikipedia, is this huge corporate entity, but it is a large entity on the internet. Everybody knows what it is, not in culture in general. You either Google something, but if you want to know something more about it, you go to Wikipedia, right? Well, Wikipedia had no idea that YouTube was planning on just linking factual sources. Well, good luck. I'm wishing you the best of luck. Invisible Empire's out there, YouTube. Fabled Enemies is out there. Shade the Motion Picture is out there. I didn't dare put Parkland up there because I knew it would be a huge strike against this channel. And unfortunately, we just can't do that. And, this is why we need your support more than ever. In fact, on the main page, there will be a new video about some big changes coming to WRC, coming to the organization, that really go back to the roots of what Luke and others did with activism after 9/11, really 2004, 2005. That's when this whole big thing started rolling, because we had been lied to on such a major level, and it really started a conflict that is far from over today. We're still in Afghanistan. We're still in Iraq. Guantanamo Bay is going nowhere. And guys, I can't even tell you how warped this foreign policy is, because there's a total and complete blackout on what's happening in Syria right now. Thousands of civilians are fleeing after Assad's forces went into their village. Now, that's what the mainstream media is telling you about this event, but obviously it goes a lot further than that, right? First of all, this used to be about getting ISIS out. We're going after ISIS. ISIS is bad. ISIS is terrible. We need to get ISIS out of there. And you look at ISIS and it looks like it's this manufactured enemy that has been armed by U.S. and Saudi interests. That's where the facts lie. Just in December, The Independent did a huge article tracing the weapons back to U.S. stockpiles. They're driving around in Chevy trucks. They got AK-47s. And here's what really, it just blows my mind about this whole situation, okay? And it's really unbelievable. Al-Qaeda was the enemy, man. They were the enemy. They're the ones, 9/11 Al-Qaeda, 9/11 Al-Qaeda, 9/11 Al-Qaeda. They literally beat it into the drums of our skulls. And then, 5, 6 years ago, everything changed, and now Al-Qaeda forces are fighting Assad's troops. They're the good guys. They're the ones fighting with us. We're in this article, it goes through how we are helping this sect of Al-Qaeda against ISIS. And no one is in an uproar that we are arming Al-Qaeda in Syria? And it blows my mind. And at the same time, you look at how the mainstream media plays it, and they realize now that, again, these are military forces here that are now watching civilians leave as they went into the village after Al-Qaeda. That's what they were doing. Okay? And here, because it's such a big proxy war with Russia and the United States that are supposed to be allies in this, and it's turned into something much different, folks. I promise you, it's turned into something much, much different. Again, that the Western media isn't talking about the bombing of over 200 Russian mercenaries, the supposed fighting on the ground, again, the arming of Al-Qaeda, going after Bashir Assad's government. And here he is right here. And again, even CNN is contending Assad may win Syria's war because people are fed up, man. They're fed up, and we don't want a large-scale military battle with Russia. I promise you, that's not something that sounds like a good idea. I promise you. All right? But he's going to preside over a broken country. Now, I'm asking everybody out there, where are you if you're in this, Black Lives Matter movement, okay? Because, when you're walking out for guns, well, they weren't encouraging students to walk out against the Iraq war. Do those brown lives matter over there? Because they're getting taken by the tens and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, because of our foreign policy. And as horrific it is that children in our schools are being murdered, well, let me tell you something. Full schools are getting bombed over there. They're losing dozens, hundreds of children at a time. And the media doesn't want to talk about it. And it makes me sick. And that's why I do what I do. And that's why We Are Change does what it does. And it's only through you guys' support, okay, that we can exist. And we got big plans for this. We want to bring the change that we want to see in the world by activism, and we want your help, and we're going to be talking about that later today on the main page. Remember, we're doing the Daily Drop every weekday at noon live on Facebook. We're going to repost over at the backup channel. That's Pulse Change. That's youtube.com/Luke We Are Change, and people are going to get an opportunity to take part in that and the main page soon, and we're really excited about that. And it's, again, only through your support and your activism that this is even possible. So, folks, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow at noon, and we'll talk then. Thank you so much.